One is back after its slight little mini break, and we are here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix for round 3 of the 2019 season. Heading into this Grand Prix, it's been officially announced that Williams Porsche are set to keep Mercedes engines for the rest of the season. Porsche were expected to bring their own engines for the 4th round of this 2019 season, but lots of development issues have put pay to that. They have officially signed an agreement with Mercedes and the FIA to keep Mercedes-Benz engines for the rest of the season. A lot of teams in the paddock have become rather upset about this, as Porsche had been stated they had to make their own engines, but the clearest evidence to that is that Red Bull have got the title sponsor of Aston Martin, but are obviously still running Renault engines, so why can't Williams have a Porsche title sponsor and have Mercedes engines? That was the excuse, and it's fair enough, otherwise Aston Martin would have to bring their own engines, which they currently have not done. It has now been announced that Thomas Fox and Lewis Hamilton are set to attend a hearing in regards to this entire drugs case. As we know, this entire drugs case saga started at the start of last season, whereby Tom was removed of his 3 world championships after a drug scandal saw that he had failed multiple tests, which it appeared to have seemed was actually wrong, and a group of people went into the test centre and actually went ahead and mixed up and put lots of stuff in every sporting star's samples. One of those included Lewis Hamilton, and both him and Tom are set to attend a hearing in regards to the entire case to bring forward any further evidence and also to try and get this case sorted, as both two drivers have stated now this has gone on far too long and they just want it over with so they can do what they do best, which is racing. Sergio Perez has admitted that he has been struggling with mental health issues. This is actually a statement that has come out from his family. Of course, Sergio Perez was dropped from Formula 1 last season after being in part of a issue whereby he had an incident in testing which saw him have a slight ankle injury, and then the next day he was caught playing tennis and aggravated that ankle injury, causing him to miss the rest of the season. This has all got into Sergio Perez's head, and it has caused a lot of mental issues for him, and despite the fact that Sergio Perez now has a drive with Williams Porsche and is set to remain long term, it appears that he is still struggling with these mental issues, and it is not doing him any favours. So yeah, his family are stating that he is suffering with it, and to leave him alone and to give him the privacy that he deserves. Finally, Nico Carey has joined Formula E after losing his race seat in Formula 1. Nico Carey was of course driving for Toro Rosso last season, but after Toro Rosso had lost the team in the back end of last season after Red Bull closed them down, Carey was without a seat as he wasn't signed up by Jaguar. He has now officially joined Formula E and will remain there for the rest of the season. His intent is to remain in Formula E for the time being, but he obviously wants to do everything he can to try and get back into Formula 1. Taking a look then at the overall race news heading into this Baku Grand Prix, it is shown that Audi have brought minor engine upgrades to Baku as well as Mercedes. Both Audi and Mercedes have claimed that they're struggling slightly with their straight line speed on their cars, so they've gone ahead and brought some upgrades to try and counter that and to try and be a bit faster and nippy in a straight line. Tom has admitted that he is struggling with the brakes with his Ferrari. During practice, Tom went off many times around the escape roads after struggling to get the brakes sorted on his car. It is officially a problem for him, and he hopes to try and sort it out for the race with minor setup changes. Also, Renault were expected to make major upgrades to their car after they have had a horrible start to this new season, after being pretty much a backmarker team now. However, their major upgrades have been delayed due to quality control failures. We're not sure what failures were wrong, what happened and what caused the parts to fail, and we don't even know how long they're expected to be, but this is a major blow for Renault, who are trying to catch up and try and get in the midst of scoring points in the midfield, but at the moment they're still stuck at the back. But it's going to look entertaining with lots of teams, with Audi, Mercedes and Ferrari seeming to be the fastest teams here, and can Red Bull finally strike after a poor start to this season? Let's get into round 3 of the F1 2019 season. Yo, what's going on guys, it is FoxyDude98 here, and welcome back to a brand new video for you guys today here on the channel. Today I am back with the F1 Journey Part 3 Season 2 here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and we're going to get straight into it. First of all, before we get into today's episode, a lot of people kept asking the same question, and it's clear that it never got out there. Basically, if you don't follow my YouTube channel, I do use the YouTube community post. So if you click onto my channel page, there'll be a button which says community, and you'll be able to see lots of posts from me, and they'll even come in the subscription box. So I highly recommend that if you are a subscriber to the channel, that you click the bell to get instant notifications of when I upload anything on the channel, because I did announce on there that the F1 Journey will not be happening last week due to university deadlines, which were much more important than YouTube, and it's always my #1 priority. And I didn't have enough time to record the F1 journey and also fix any of the problems that I had in the series with the mods, but still I get a couple of questions about that. So if you are a subscriber, I highly recommend just doing that. It's only so you can see the community posts, and a lot of the times I like to just interact with you guys with the community posts, so yeah, I recommend doing so. But yeah, anyway, we're here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and our initial banker lap was not very good. It was actually raining in the session, and I went out here at the end of Q2 to try and improve, sorry, not the end of Q2, at the end of qualifying, to try and improve on my lap time, but even after the first corner, I'm already half a second down, and as we head in towards turn 2 now, you can see I'm having to brake very early here. I'm already 8/10 down, over a second down, and at this point, the rain was just too much, and I could not improve on my personal best lap time. So as we come down the straight here, I am actually going to eventually, as you can see here, slow it now down, and back out of the lap, save the set of super soft tyres in case I do need them in the Grand Prix. But as you can see then, not a very good qualifying there for us. We're starting down in P9. Lewis Hamilton qualifies on pole position ahead of Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel for this Grand Prix, with Nico Rosberg starting in 7th, his best qualifying of the season, ahead of also you've got Van Dorn starting in 5th, with Lando Norris, the hero of last time around in Brazil, starting all the way down in P19. And as you can see, then heading on into the Grand Prix, we're going to be doing a one-stop race. We're going to be starting on a set of super soft tyres, making the switch to soft tyres for the end of the race then. So here we go then, we've got 5 red lights, and it is lights out. We go here to start the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It's a good start for us, actually. Move over to the inside line now to try and get a couple of positions here towards turn 1, and we do just that there. Go down the inside of Pascal Wehrlein and also Nico Rosberg there in the Audi as we now try and make our way up towards turn 2. Have a little look there at Sergio Perez's Williams car, but unfortunately just not quite close enough yet. And yeah, Williams seems to be doing quite well here already to start things off as we now make the charge down towards turn 3. Everyone going to be grabbing a slipstream off one another, and it's going to be very tight as we go down the inside of Sergio Perez, making the move stick there. A little bit of a late lunge there, but obviously we have done a lot of work with my brakes in this session, because as I said, as you would have heard in the news feed, I've been struggling with braking around this track. So I have made a lot of setup changes to try and fix the braking issues now, as we look to try and get onto the back of Stoffel Van Dorn here on the end of the first lap. Having a look then at the end of the first lap here, Lewis Hamilton still leads the way, but that's not going to be for very much longer, as Max Verstappen now is right on the back of Lewis Hamilton. He looks like he wants to try and get into the lead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. He's going to do just that here as he goes now down the straight here, the long motorway straight that just never ends here. Verstappen now takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Hamilton now having to go defensive against Sebastian Vettel. Both Vettel and Verstappen getting a great run here. Sebastian Vettel now gets in front of Lewis Hamilton, and he's up into second place here. Now Vettel will have to hold his position, and he just gets the line there in towards turn 2 there. That's great for him. On to the end of lap 2 now to start lap 3 here. We've now closed up to the back of Stoffel Van Dorn properly, and we now get a chance to have a good run on him here. As you can see now, we're coming through the left and right handers now, and we're shoving the car up into 8th gear now, and we're going to make the move on Van Dorn. Going to go to the outside line, switch that then towards the inside line here, on board with Van Dorn here. Now moving on board with myself here, the 2 Mercedes cars going side by side, and we blitz past Van Dorn. Ricciardo now gets in front, and Vettel is going around the outside of Verstappen here. This is for the lead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Verstappen under pressure, my teammate, struggling to hold off Vettel here. The 2 former teammates now of last season battling head to head here, and Audi seem to have a great car here today, especially for Vettel nonetheless, and he flies past, and Verstappen here, he has DRS, and Vettel still. This engine upgrade that Audi have brought really working well today, with Verstappen still using DRS, and it's made no difference for him. Vettel now leads the Azerbaijan Grand Prix ahead of Max Verstappen, and here is a replay of us then passing Stoffel Van Dorn. It's a little bit fuzzy there on the camera as we sort of switch back and forth a little bit, so you can see that we breeze past Stoffel Van Dorn. And then as we come in towards turn 1, this is when obviously Verstappen and Hamilton and Ricciardo started fighting each other, and Verstappen and Vettel sort of had a little bit of battle, so you can see that we held ourselves off there against Daniel Ricciardo. On to the end of lap 3 now, about to start lap 4, a little bit wayward there on the curbing, as now we're looking to try and close up to the back of Lewis Hamilton, who after starting on pole position really is struggling to get to grips in this Grand Prix. And you can see here that we're actually closing on the slipstream here of Lewis Hamilton, and in fact, we might actually close up quite considerably here. This is the DRS enabled, and this is just the power of the Baku City Circuit's pitch straight and also its DRS and slipstream. I will now breeze past him in towards turn 1. A little bit of a wheel bang there, but then if you complain about that, go watch Verstappen and Ricciardo's fight around Baku, and then you know what it is. As Ricciardo there seemed to have looked like he had a little go there at Max Verstappen, and for the first time I think in this Grand Prix, is that a VS? No, it's a full course caution. We've got a safety car has been deployed, and yeah, that's a bit of an issue there. So the safety car has come out. I'm not sure why it's come out. But as you can see in the top left of your screens, we're down to 17 drivers, so we've lost 3 cars already in an instant there. So, yeah, we'll have to find out. Hopefully, we can see who retired from this Grand Prix, but it's unfortunately not quite in the pit window territory, so we can't really do anything in terms of stopping. And Brendan Hartley is out of this Grand Prix. We've got Lando Norris out of the Grand Prix, and Charles Leclerc is also out of this Grand Prix. So we're going to go find out why now. So we've got a replay here. So it's the 3 of them now. They're coming down the pit straight here, and this is on board with Charles Leclerc, and he's trying to get past, I believe that is Lando Norris and also Hartley. So now they're going to go 3 wide here. Hartley with some DRS as well. Great run here. Oh, now Lando Norris has turned in, and oh my goodness me, Brendan Hartley with a huge crash there, and Charles Leclerc with a spasm attack as well in the process. So on board with Hartley, Norris seems to just, yeah, Norris wants to go into the pits, and he's turned in, and oh my god, that sent Hartley straight into the fence there. So on board with Lando Norris, so there it is, look, if you look at the front right, he's got a problem with the end plate that's come off, so he's got damage. He's now being overtaken on the inside, and the AI is automatically computer programmed to go into the pits, even if there's a huge amount of cars in the way. And obviously, as he needs to pit, he goes flying into the pits, and he's completely swiped into both Hartley and Charles Leclerc. And there's all the debris just coming out of nowhere there. So there's all the debris for you. So yeah, that's a horrible, horrible crash there for all of them now. So the safety car is coming in now this lap then, and we can get back racing here on lap 6 of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix with Vettel still in the lead then, ahead of Verstappen, ahead of Ricciardo, ahead of myself, Lewis Hamilton and Stoffel Van Dorn in the McLaren. So yeah, Van Dorn is going to have to be the hero here today rather than Lando Norris, who was the hero last time out. But we're up to green flag. Well, we're not quite green flag yet, but we are now, and we can continue racing once again here. And we've got a decent restart, not too brilliant, but we're going to have a little look at Daniel Ricciardo in towards the first corner, sort of tuck our nose in there, put Ricciardo offline slightly, put him under pressure, and now in towards turn 2. He's got a better run, but this time we'll brake even later this time to try and attack Ricciardo. But Ricciardo, great defensive drive here straight away. A little bit of a hander coming up in frustration there for Daniel, but he's got better straight line speed there. And you can see Mercedes-Benz engine upgrades working nicely as Hamilton now sort of having a look at my rear end, and I saw that, so I'm going to sort of just squeeze it down the inside of Daniel Ricciardo, and this time I got better traction out of the corner. 3rd time lucky there for myself, and now I can continue to try and press on against Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen. On to lap 9 of the Grand Prix now. My pursuit is not going so well, and hello. We've got another safety car. The second safety car, and it's literally been about 3 laps, I think, since we've actually got racing again, and this is a big problem for me now. The safety car is out, Verstappen is in front of me, and it's lap 9, and we are right in pit stop window territory. Verstappen comes in, I'm gonna stay out. This is, yeah. From this Grand Prix basically onwards, what I found out is after the first safety car came out, there seemed to be a safety car glitch, and I had it in this race, and this hasn't helped me at all. On to lap 11 of the Grand Prix now. We are back to green flag racing, and this is the scenario. We are currently the only driver on the field that has not stopped yet for a new set of tyres. The plan is to stay out as long as I possibly can, build a gap, and try and just limit my damage, basically, because I'm stuffed at the moment. And funnily enough, Pascal Wehrlein, who is right behind me, we've actually got another person that's retired from this Grand Prix. It's Nico Rosberg that has retired from this Grand Prix, so that's horrible for Audi. But Pascal Wehrlein, just putting it out there, in the Force India, he's the net race leader. Here he is. He has made a pit stop for medium tyres. There I am just in front, but Sebastian Vettel wants to get a move on here in this Grand Prix, and he wants to try and put the pressure on myself here. So here comes Sebastian Vettel now, powering down the straight here versus Pascal Wehrlein in the Force India, and heading up towards turn 1 now as the sun starts to breeze out here in this race. Vettel now goes down the inside of Pascal Wehrlein, and he makes it stick there on the Force India driver, but he's still got a bit of work to do. Vettel has to make it stick again into turn 2. Wehrlein not giving this one up without a fight, but this time, unfortunately, Pascal has to sit back and relax a little bit and try and wait for another opportunity. But in fairness to Pascal, he's got a good chance here as he comes up towards turn 4 now, turn 3 even. I got my turns wrong, and in towards turn 3, has a little look, but he's just not quite ready for an overtake yet. And Daniel Ricciardo makes his way past one of the Renaults there, and on to lap 13 of the Grand Prix. My race is just in tatters, is the only way to put it, as I actually give a slight little kiss to the wall there. My race is in tatters. We haven't made a stop. I need to make a stop, and I don't know what's going to go on in the race. So unfortunately for myself, I am having to come in, and I couldn't stay out any longer. The tyres were going off, and I just needed to get myself a new set of tyres, which means now that we're going to be very far back, but we are going to be on fresh, soft tyres compared to everyone else's medium tyres. So in effect, you know, I can still try and gain and close down. We're down into P15 of the Grand Prix, but we're just going to have to try our hardest to close the gap to the drivers. And, well, in terms of closing the gap, remember when I said there was a safety car glitch? Yeah, I don't need to close the gap anymore, because the safety car has just come out for the 3rd time now in this Grand Prix. And, yeah, it literally is just like, I cannot be bothered to stay in the pit stall race. I'm just going to keep coming out and keep making a mess of this Grand Prix, if it wasn't already a mess enough. So now, the safety car has come out here. We are now in last place. Well, Bottas is last, but he's miles behind. I'm on fresh set of soft tyres. We've got 13 laps to go. The safety car will come in with about 11 laps to go in this Grand Prix. I have a fresh set of super softs still remaining, so I'm going to pit for them. The rules state that you have to run 2 dry compound tyres in the Grand Prix. I have run the super soft tyres, and for 1 whole lap, I've ran the soft tyres. So in effect, I have run 2 different types of tyre compounds. So I can go straight back to super soft tyres and do the whole race basically on them, because I have switched to the soft tyres in this Grand Prix, which is part of the mandatory rules. As long as you run 2 dry compounds in the race, that is acceptable, and I did. So now we've got 11 laps to go in this Grand Prix. I did 14 laps on my first set of super soft tyres, so I've cut the distance down by 3 laps now, and this is perfect for me. I can now just go to the end of the race on super soft tyres. Everyone is on warm mediums, so in effect, I've actually brought myself right back into contention here for this Grand Prix, which is quite crazy considering I was plumb last. Well, not plumb last, because Bottas was, but you get what I mean. Pretty much at the back of the field, about a good 10 seconds behind. Now, I have a great opportunity to gain some places, so let's let the overtaking montage begin. So we're now going to try and go down the inside here on Nico Hulkenberg. We do just that. Pretty aggressive there, but I broke a little bit early as I didn't want to outbrake myself now, as we now try and attack Antonio Giovinazzi in towards turn 2. Not close enough yet. I could have gone for the lunge on Giovinazzi. Like, there's a lot of times when I can go for the lunges, but I know that eventually I'm just going to make move sticks, and I know specific corners where the AIs are braking earlier because they're in a train, e.g. turn 3. Like right now, as I may have nearly got into the back of Pierre Gasly there. So, yeah, luckily I made sure that lunge was good. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been too good there. Now, as we're looking to try and get onto the back of Pierre Gasly here for P12 now in this Grand Prix, and we're going to do just that now in towards the left and right hand. It's going to have to warrant Gasly some space, though, on the curb in there. A little bit of a bump, but of course we're fighting over a chicane, so that's expecting what you're going to happen here. And now onto the, further on into the Grand Prix now, attacking Sergio Perez. Late lunge down in towards this tight little right left-hander. Can't get my left and right straights because I'm stupid. And that is us up into P11, and Ocon is next, and that's for points now. So yeah, and I think that's Robert Kubica there, who's had a bit of a problem, and now Fernando Alonso is right on the back of him, and Esteban Ocon as well. And I'm going to chuck the car into Rich, make sure the 4 of us now. I'm getting a great slipstream here at Esteban Ocon, and I'm going to have to do something here because we're going to have 3 cars here. Switch over to the inside line. Ocon on my right hand side. Alonso going through with Kubica. Kubica now under pressure. Ocon straight in behind. We're going to go straight onto the wall and get all 3 cars in one overtake. What a sensational move there. Right up on the wall. Alonso goes for the move on there, Robert Kubica. Also, Ocon was boxed in behind him there. That was a 4 wide or 4 abreast attack there between all drivers. And let's have a look at a replay of that then. So having a look at it here, I initially make my intent to go onto the outside line. I knew that I might get boxed in here. I then decide to move over to the left-hand side, right up on the wall there. 3 of us just driving it down the straight. And then as you can see, Ocon follows in my slipstream now. So now it's gone from me being in the 3 wide scenario to now Ocon joining the 3 wide scenario. And they all lock up and have a problem there. Ocon's lost out to Sergio Perez. Alonso now has to fight Kubica here and goes down the inside and towards turn 2 and gets the move on Kubica. What a stunning piece of driving there. And that was an amazing overtake. And on to lap 18 of the Grand Prix. We have now closed up to the back of Max Verstappen. And as you can see, we've just set the fastest middle sector of this race so far. My fresh super soft tyres are doing the bits right now. And we are flying through in this Grand Prix as we now look to attack my teammate Verstappen, of course, who's been compromised by the safety cars after when he pitted. Of course, it cost him a lot of time as he was held up by just so many people. And now as they come flying down the straight here, we're going to breeze past Verstappen. No need for DRS for that matter. That's how quick we were in the slipstream there, as I believe that's Ricciardo now trying to battle one of the Force Indias there. I think that's Pascal Wehrlein there. And yeah, you can see that he's now trying to attack here. We're going to have a little look on Carlos Sainz now down the inside in towards turn 2. We get a good run there, but we just compromise our line a little bit by clipping the curb too much. And that gives Sainz the better exit. But now in the DRS and slipstream, we're going to come back at Carlos Sainz. And oh look, guess what's out? The safety car. Not like we've seen that for the 4th time in this Grand Prix. So once again, the safety car has come out for absolutely no reason whatsoever, and we're going to have another restart. I guess it bunches up the field, and luckily for myself, nobody actually pitted for a fresh set of tyres when really I would have, and just, you know, fought my way back up the field. You can see how much pace I have in this Grand Prix so far, but we're going to tuck ourselves up round to the back of Carlos Sainz here, and Pascal Wehrlein just in front there. But unfortunately for myself, Sainz has actually bit the bullet a little bit quicker. I was a little bit slow at reacting there, but Verstappen didn't quite get the run that I was expecting from him either. But we've got now 5 laps to go in this Grand Prix. We're up into 7th place in this race, so let's see what we can do now. As we're going to try and lunge it down the inside on Sainz here, and similar move to Daniel Ricciardo, sort of tuck our nose in there and put him under pressure slightly, but in towards turn 2 now, we sort of have to confirm the overtake here on Sainz. This was not fully done, and we do just that now, and we're putting the car up into rich mixture. I've got a lot of fuel, but of course the fuel does burn very quickly, so yeah, we need to be careful of that in this scenario now. As Pascal Wehrlein here in towards turn 3, nope, not close enough, gonna just sort of do a little bit of a fake look there, and now this time in towards turn 4, now we are gonna have a look at Pascal Wehrlein here, and we do just that. Very good overtake there, and sort of just stick over nice and wide as Wehrlein's still alongside me there. Eventually though, we complete the move there, and that is us up into 5th place now in this Grand Prix, but Vettel has breezed away at this restart, so now we need to get on with it in this Grand Prix, start closing the gap now, and you can already see that Van Dorn is causing an issue for Lewis Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo. He's not moving out of the way in this Grand Prix, he is costing them time, and that is giving Vettel everything that he needs to pull away there, as we do a pretty decent job for the castle section, and now we're just trying to close up to the back of Daniel Ricciardo, following on board with this lap. You can see on the mini-map Vettel pulling away all the time, and this is just helping him get away now in this race, as we have a little look there at Ricciardo, but look how much later we're just able to break them. Ricciardo in this stage of the race with these fresh super soft tyres, you can do just that, and now here we're looking to get onto the back of Ricciardo, but of course this isn't going to be an easy overtake. We don't have DRS. Ricciardo is faster in a straight line than this Ferrari car, and also he's got a slight toe from Lewis Hamilton. It's not going to be as strong as effective as mine, but it sure is going to help him a lot in defending the position here. So as you can see now, on the straight here, on board with Daniel Ricciardo, you can see on myself here, I cannot close. Look how quick Ricciardo is in a straight line. He's breezing towards the back of Lewis Hamilton now. Vettel still in the lead of this Grand Prix, so I'm just going to have to use the brakes instead. And with the super soft tyres, and I'm going to shove Ricciardo nice and wide there, which is acceptable, as one of the Red Bulls there looks like he's trying to get past one of the Force Indians. And now we need to make a move on Lewis Hamilton onto lap 23 of the Grand Prix. Time to make an attack on Hamilton, and down the inside here onto this left-hander. We make the move on Hamilton. I believe he might have just tapped the wall there, but we gave him plenty of space, and we are now up into 3rd place, into the podium places after being down in 15th place, albeit because the safety cars have caused major annoyances. Onto lap 24 of the Grand Prix, Stoffel Van Dorn has been reported to have an issue now with his car, and he is slowing me down and costing me time to Sebastian Vettel here. So now we're going to make a move just before the castle section here, braking late in towards here. Slight clip of the corner there. It was actually a little bit corner cutty. Now, I was expecting to give the position back to Stoffel Van Dorn there, but I only got a warning for corner cutting and was told not to give the position back. So, yeah. And as you can see, Van Dorn's issues costing him even more time now, as he's going to get absolutely swamped here by 2 Mercedes cars. There goes Hamilton, there goes Daniel Ricciardo. Ricciardo actually gets the job done on Hamilton as well, and that's one of the Red Bulls there. I think it's it's Carlos Sainz that's trying to get in the mix as well, and you can see Lewis Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo fighting hard, as Verstappen now fighting one of the Red Bulls as well further back. So Hamilton makes the move stick down Daniel Ricciardo, and he is now up into the podium places in this Grand Prix. It's Verstappen, there's a lot of fighting going on in the background. Let's get on with this. What is actually going on here? Verstappen is attacking one of the Force Indians. That's Pascal Wehrlein. Ocon is right behind this though, so Ocon doing a great recovery drive here after I mugged him off on the straight, and Pascal fighting Verstappen hard here. So Wehrlein really showing what he's got here. Force India have not brought any upgrades, but on to the last lap of the Grand Prix now. This is it, Sebastian Vettel versus myself. I did everything I can. You can see on the mini-map, we're 5 seconds clear of Lewis Hamilton. I was giving it everything to close the gap down to Sebastian Vettel. We are in DRS range of Seb. Unfortunately though, as we close up towards the start-finish line, there is absolutely nothing I can do. It gives me one more lap, and I would have beaten Sebastian Vettel. I personally would have thought. I would have had a run in towards turn 1 and 3, and just an overall lap on my super soft tyres, and I think I would have got the job done. But hey, what an absolutely hectic Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel wins for Audi, ahead of myself in the 2 Mercedes cars, ahead of Van Dorn, Verstappen, Wehrlein, Alonso, Perez and Ocon, rounding out the top 10 with 5 drivers DNFing from this race. What a Grand Prix. let's get into the drivers and constructors standings. Alright then, so let's have a look at the drivers standings and see where everyone is at after probably the craziest F1 journey episode I have ever recorded, and it was so much fun even if the safety cars were actually annoying. But anyway, into the Drivers' Championship then, I remain at the top of the World Drivers' Championship with 58 points, and I am 13 points clear of Max Verstappen, who is on 45 points. Sebastian Vettel has done a great result here with that victory, has bumped him up to 41 points in the championship, and he is now just 4 points off my teammate Verstappen. Daniel Ricciardo very close by as well on 39 points, and Lewis Hamilton on 31 points. Mercedes with their best results really of the season after an awful start to the year. Carlos Sainz is down on 20 points. It's been an awful start to the season for Red Bull, and they really need to get their act together. Lando Norris, despite his DNF, stays in 7th place on 19 points. Hartley as well failed to score, is on 14 points. Van Dorn shoots at the table after scoring 5th place to get himself 10 points up to 14 points, and he's now ahead of Fernando Alonso. So Alonso, who left McLaren to go to Red Bull because McLaren weren't performing enough, he's behind both McLaren drivers, so that's going to upset him. Pascal Wehrlein gets his first points for Force India, and that is a great result for him. Sergio Perez picking up crucial points for Williams Porsche. Rosberg failing to score today after DNFing for Audi, stays where he is. Ocon also picking up a point with Pierre Gasly, Nico Hulkenberg, Robert Kubica, Valtteri Bottas, Charles Leclerc and Antonio Giovinazzi still yet to score points in this championship. And then finally having a look at the Constructors' Championship, Ferrari lead the way in the Constructors' Championship with 103 points ahead of Mercedes-Benz, who are on 70 points, who are just 33 points behind Ferrari in the championship. A further setback is Audi, who are on 43 points again. All of that pretty much coming from Vettel this season, so Rosberg really needs to sort himself out. And then it's McLaren, who have actually jumped Red Bull. So Red Bull, I believe, was 2nd in the championship, and they've dropped all the way down to 5th. So they really need to start getting some points together in the bag, because they're really struggling, and Jaguar are on 14 points. Williams down there lost out to Force India after Force India scored their first points of the season, and Renault and BMW Sauber yet to get a point on the board. But guys, that is going to be it for the F1 journey for this week. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, feel free to drop it a like, subscribe if you have not yet subscribed to the channel already. We are very close to 13,000 subscribers here on my YouTube channel, and I didn't expect me to get anywhere near this, and I'm hoping to try and reach it within the next week or so, maybe. Yeah, it'd be amazing if you could join along with this amazing community that we are building together. And yeah, don't forget to click that bell to get instant notifications when I do upload, and also so you can see the community posts, because if there is a change to anything YouTube wise, I will post it on my community page, which you can just click on my YouTube channel page and click the community button and you'll see all the posts there. So be sure to follow it, because obviously I don't want to get people confused like they have been before. But thanks so much for watching, guys. Take care all. Peace.